Today's episode of the Nerd Soup Podcast is brought to you by Audible. Use our link, audible.com/nerdsoup, or text NerdSoup to 500-500 to get a free audiobook, 2 Audible originals, and a 30-day trial. Audible has become essential for fans of audiobooks. It's a product that adds more convenience to listening to your favorite audiobooks. Audible can be used in your everyday life, like commuting from school or work, or listening first thing in the morning or before bedtime. They have the largest library of audiobooks on the planet, and now with Audible Originals, the selection has become even more exclusive, designed specifically for members. Every month, Audible provides its members with a free credit for any audiobook, regardless of price, and unused credits roll over to the next month. With Audible, you own your audiobooks, so you can re-listen anytime, even if you cancel your membership. The first title that I would like to highlight today is The Name of the Wind. It's a series I discovered after George R.R. Martin talked about it on his blog. It's one of the most well-written fantasy series out there today, and is being adapted into a live-action TV show. The second title is Dune, a more classic sci-fi fantasy epic that is also being developed into a movie by Denis Villeneuve. Dune is a world that you can easily get lost in. It's like Game of Thrones in space, a little Star Wars, the political intrigue, it's great. So you can get ahead of the live-action adaptations of The Name of the Wind and Dune by listening to the books. This way you can brag to your friends about all the knowledge you have about these two series, and then complain about the changes they make in the live-action adaptations. And remember, use our link, audible.com/nerdsoup, or text NerdSoup to 500-500 to get a free audiobook, 2 Audible originals, and a 30-day trial.
Good soup.
Yeah, Charlie's Angels, man. I guess Patrick Stewart is Charlie, right?
He's got to be.
Yeah.
Do you ever see Charlie?
I haven't seen one Charlie's Angels movie ever.
Me neither. Not too hot on that trailer either that we just saw.
I thought that was like a really kind of sad 1990s. Never mind what I thought it was.
Yo,
I think I liked him because I was a kid, and it was like Cameron Diaz and like Lucy Liu. Like I was like, oh, this is dope.
Were those the original Charlie's Angels?
Yeah, and Drew Barrymore, I believe.
Oh my God, that's a huge 3.
Yeah. And Bernie Mac was
He was Charlie?
no, he was Bosley.
Ah. Well, I guess we're doing a weird cold open, but it's one of the main topics of the video. Maybe we should just open this.
Yeah, do your thing.
Theme song.
yo, wait, real quick. I got bodied by a fly today. It was horrible.
You're gonna say this after the cold opening?
So I'm sitting down eating, and like, you know how you hear like the fly hit the window?
Yeah.
Finally, he flies from outside of the blinds, and I'm fucking swinging at it with a shoe, and I catch him. Hits the wall, goes down. Like, all right, let me finish eating. I'll pick him up in a second.
Oh wow, you went back to your meal. That's disrespectful. You didn't even dispose of the body?
He didn't, man. He possummed me. I sit down. He comes back up, and he's hitting. Like, there's 2 of them in here? I go back and look, and he's gone. Yo.
It's like
I
a
was like,
Breaking
wow,
Bad.
mother. It pissed me off.
Yeah.
And then I just forgot about him.
You know what's funny? I've been watching Breaking Bad to go to sleep, and I find myself watching 2 episodes before actually falling asleep.
Did you start from episode 1?
No. I started from episode 3. Season 3, because I love Gus. Everything with Gus. Those 2 seasons, Walt versus Gus, Gus versus the cartel. It's fantastic. And then it got me thinking, because you saw those pictures that Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul tweeted out, the 2 donkeys.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe he's alive. And then I went back on YouTube and I watched the final scene, and I'm like,
No.
maybe he possummed him. You know, maybe he faked
No,
dead.
for real.
So they weren't aggressive with him. You know, and then he wiggled his way out of jail.
Maybe there's a trap door there somewhere you knew about?
Dude, Bryan Cranston is so good in that show, and that character is so amazing. I wouldn't be furious if he came back to life.
I would.
Just to see him again? I would love
Just
it.
to see him
I would love
scheme. If they've got but if I told you that Vince Gilligan has one last great scheme for Walter White where you knew it was going to be great, would you still want him to be alive?
If I know it's going to be great.
If you know it's going to be great.
It makes sense, and then yeah, but if it's...
Because that still changes the ending of the show.
It does.
You still
So
have to
if
watch
it's-
it differently.
If it's like mediocre or decent, maybe even good, I'd be like, maybe should have left it open-ended with that.
Yo, after watching the scene you sent me, I gotta rewatch that show, man.
I am the one who knocks.
You see so much, like, during that scene, pre-knowing what happens in the show, you think he's just trying to put on a show for Skylar, like to try and make her think that everything's fine.
Yeah.
Which he probably is doing that too. But that's who he is right there. Like he turned early.
He does.
Well, a lot earlier than I thought he did.
He has like these spurts of Heisenberg where people meet Heisenberg for the first time, and that's where Skylar first really met Heisenberg. It's like the scene when they kill Gale, when he's on the phone with Jesse, and he says, "Jesse, go do it quickly." And Mike's like, "What the fuck did you just do?" And he's like, "You're going to want to hold off because your boss is going to need me." And Mike is thinking, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
I just met Heisenberg for the first time. Bryan Cranston, that might be the best performance of all time. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerd Soup
I can go all day on
Podcast.
Breaking Bad.
Me too. I'm Bo Oliver, joined today by Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and Teddy. And today we are talking about not a lot of stories, kind of light, but we've got two big ones. And we've also got fan questions that you guys have sent us, so we're going to answer those. And you can send us fan questions at nerdsoupforyou@gmail.com and on Twitter. And also, you can listen to us on SoundCloud, maybe, and Spotify and iTunes at the Nerd Soup Podcast. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Our first story today is
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd is joining Ghostbusters 2020.
Yes.
Holy shit, there's not a lot to talk about.
No.
I love it. I love Paul Rudd. Even seeing that teaser he did, like it. That's his humor, and it's so funny. It's great. I just when he's saying I just slime myself, and
Yeah. Paul Rudd is one of the most charming actors out there today.
he's fun.
He's fun. He's charismatic.
Yeah, he's probably just
He ages well.
the best in person, too.
He looks like he's a cool dude in
Yeah.
person, yeah.
Well,
I almost wish he was my dad.
don't we all?
Paul Rudd's daddy material.
No. I think we talked about this before when it first got announced. I don't think any of us were really too excited. I was never a big Ghostbusters fan, but the only thing that would make me like actually interested in seeing this is Paul Rudd, because you know what you're gonna get with Paul Rudd. He's the same character in every movie, and it's the fucking best part of every movie he's in. So if there's something that gets me interested, it's gonna be Paul Rudd, and I'm interested to see where how the cast fills out, because it's supposed to be. Isn't it supposed to be like centered around kids? Like
Paul Rudd is a
young Ghostbusters.
Paul Rudd's a teacher.
Well, it's Finn Wolfhard is also in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to have a leading role. And then there was Carrie Coon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she's his mother or something like that.
Yeah, she's the mom.
She is the mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what the structure is going to be, but I hope Paul Rudd has I'm sure he'll be the lead, if anything.
I was just gonna say, like, what you just said is how I'm feeling too. Like, Paul Rudd would be the reason why I see Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But I really hope I go to see Paul Rudd, and I hope he's not like just a side character, and they're just using that to.
Yeah. It's like, oh, hey, look, we have Paul Rudd. Here's
Yeah.
Finn Wolfhard for 2 hours. Which Finn Wolfhard? He's good young actor, but I don't know.
Yeah, I want Paul though.
Yeah. I want to watch this kid for 2 hours in a Ghostbusters movie.
I got a hot take. The first Ghostbusters is so overrated.
Ooh. That's why I come here, for those steaming hot takes.
Every male human being from age 38 to 49 just lost their shit. Their ears are ringing right now because I just said that.
They unsubscribed.
It's funny. It's fun. It's a fun concept, but the way people talk about it, I never loved Ghostbusters, but the reaction to the 2016 Ghostbusters, a movie that I hated, a movie that I thought was terrible, but it wasn't the reaction after the movie came out, it was before it. And I think that almost soured me on Ghostbusters because people were just so annoying about that movie, even though it did suck.
Yeah.
But everything surrounding that movie.
Actually, I looked on Rotten Tomatoes. That's a favorable score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Critically, yeah, it did well.
Which
it's in the 60s or 70s, right?
Yeah, because I haven't seen it. I don't think I've watched the whole thing, but from everything I've heard, it's awful. But that surprised me a little bit. But
It's
I would
bad.
say,
Yeah,
Just got a new chair. Ted's
Right on
breaking
cue.
them.
but you know, I never really liked it. I think I've watched it like once or twice in my life, and I was kind of like, yeah, it's pretty good.
The chair looks like its jaw broke.
look at this.
It's like,
Oh yeah, wow, it is bad.
well, that's why you don't build a chair when you're high, Aaron.
What are you gonna do, huh? I always wondered what all the hype around Ghostbusters was.
Have you seen the first Ghostbusters?
Yeah, but like, it's good. It's a good movie. It's not like Star Wars or like, but the fan base acts like it is.
I mean, it's
It's a cult
It's
classic.
like a
Yeah.
nostalgia thing.
I could
Bill
see.
Murray.
I could see why growing up with that movie you would be so attached to it. It's like we have our movies we're attached to that
Yeah.
people younger than us are probably like, oh, that we don't like that. So I don't think it's overrated for us maybe, but for the people who love it, I think it's properly rated. But we're getting that a little bit too with like Lion King now, which is kind of making me upset because everyone's like every time they drop new promotion for the new Lion King movie, all you see is they're ruining it. They're like, why are you doing this? Like, just for money. This is stupid. The animated version looks better.
So we the Ghostbusters people right now?
I guess, but it's like also
'Cause I can't wait for Lion King.
no, I'm pumped for that. But my opinion there is like, how is this movie's not going to change your opinion on the previous one? They're just making another one. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I don't know. You don't have to constantly compare it. It's happening. So I don't know why you have to be so negative about the new one coming out when you haven't seen it yet. And it does look beautiful, and obviously I know the classic animation, there is a charm to that, and I do prefer that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But like, just reimagining it to a new audience, and if you don't like it or don't prefer it, you still have like they're not like retconning the old Lion King. They're not destroying all of it. It's still there.
Is that what they were doing to Ghostbusters though with the new one?
It was just a hard reboot.
Because this one in 2020 is going to be attached to the first Ghostbusters.
I believe so. It's what's his name, Reitman?
Ivan Reitman, yeah.
Yeah, his son,
It's his son, yes.
which is kind of cool.
Right. And
I can kind of see it both ways, where if you retcon it, people can get upset.
Well, no,
But then if you go back and go into the original universe and they don't do it right, then it's like, why'd you do
The
that?
2016 is a retcon, but like with Lion
Yeah.
King, it's just a straight up, it's a remake, like a reimagining remake. But I don't know. I think
No, I'm saying I can see both sides and why they would be mad.
well, the problem
doing
with the
this.
new
I don't
one,
get why being mad like for either the Ghostbusters 2016. It's like, all right, it's not gonna. You still have those movies, so if you don't, you can say it sucks. I don't know. That's just annoying sometimes.
yeah, and the biggest problem with that movie is that it tried to be a not Kevin Feige, Paul Feige comedy rather than Ghostbusters, because Ghostbusters doesn't lean so heavily on the comedy. It's more sci-fi fantasy.
All I'm thinking is the Kevin
Heavenly.
Feige Ghostbusters, where he brings them into the MCU.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it
That'd
past
be
them. Yeah, make some type of deal. It's in their court.
Yeah.
So it didn't really capture what Ghostbusters was, but what Ghostbusters wasn't that impressive to me anyway. So even though I've never sat through a comedy and never laughed, I did not laugh once at that movie.
Well, how are you watching it at home by yourself?
No, theater.
How?
Wait, which one?
The new Ghostbusters?
Oh, I thought you meant the old one.
Me too.
No. The old one made me laugh a couple times,
Okay.
and like I said, I enjoyed it, but it's not one of my favorite movies. I don't think it's sacred that you could never recast or reboot that franchise. I wouldn't do it anyway because I'm not necessarily craving new Ghostbusters movies, but it is what it is. Paul Rudd is a funny guy. It's looking to be looking like an interesting cast. So
That's Ghostbusters 2020.
it's a slow day.
Why do they?
What about that debate? You
why
want to
does
review
Hollywood-
the debate?
What?
Here, did you see what Beto O'Rourke did in that debate?
I watched that debate actually.
When that man started talking Spanish, I couldn't believe that shit. I was like, no, don't do this. That's like when somebody sings publicly.
Cory Booker gave him like this like side eyes. Like, you're really doing this?
And then Booker was like, fine, I'll break out the Spanish, right? You did it first.
What's with Hollywood with the put in the years on the end of movies? It's like,
Oh, that's the official title of the movie?
I think so. I don't know.
I think they're just saying it like
Oh.
2020, like
Okay.
Ghostbusters in 2020.
I was gonna say,
No, I think it's just the release.
unless you're
year.
Blade Runner, just keep it. Just say the title. I don't need to know what year. I'll figure it out.
Well,
dude.
everybody made so many stupid jokes about that. It's like, oh, we have to wait 30 years?
That's funny. I like that. That's good.
I just do like that title, though, Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
It's a fresh-ass title for a fresh-ass movie. We could just review that if you want. Have you seen that yet?
What?
Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah.
Really?
No, he probably hasn't.
No.
Yeah, more confidence next time. You cracked the smile pretty early. What's our next story here? Charlie's Angels, right? We have a
Yeah.
Charlie's Angels trailer. You're just disappointed, right?
Do you see that? It's a meme going around. It's like everything that's playing. It's like Child's Play.
Oh yeah, the 90s are back. That
Yeah.
one?
Toy Story 4,
Yeah.
Men in Black. Somebody said it's a cruel joke to play on a time traveler.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw one. It's like it or not, you're 90s babies.
That is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't want them thinking that they're 90s babies when they're not.
I mean, us as 90s kids, we always talk about how great it was being a 90s kid.
We're early 2000s kids.
No, we're not.
A little bit of a mix.
I was 8 by the time the 90s ended.
But both of
That's
them.
enough time.
But if you think about it, it probably sucked. I think
Well,
everyone.
the 90s was a golden age economically.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I'm just saying,
Rap
as a
too.
kid, we really like.
Do you remember those vacations you would take as a kid? Nice pool in the backyard.
Well, I'm thinking more of just like the
Mom and dad weren't
toys.
fighting as much.
entertainment. I don't know what household you grew up in.
Rugrats?
Rugrats. Yeah, the golden age of hip hop.
Oh, you were enjoying the golden age of hip hop when you were 7
You said
years
that
old.
you knew every Yankee lineup since you were born.
Yeah, but that was when I was a fucking baseball nerd. I'm just saying, I feel like people just
Alright, so I
overrate
was
like,
bumping only built for the Cuban links. What's your problem?
But we used to hate our parents for saying, oh, the 70s or whatever they grew up in, 70s, whatever.
No, but the
Oof,
night.
you
But
kids with your Nintendos and your Segas,
what's the best decade for movies? What do people usually agree on?
the 90s.
No, the 70s.
Okay.
They say the 70s is the 90s. That's the easy answer, right? Well, it's the 70s, and the 80s was kind of a drop-off, even though there are some great movies in the 80s. But then the 90s was all the people that grew up watching the movies in the 70s. They started making movies. So the 90s is a great decade as well. When you go through best pictures of the 70s, the 90s. 94, they say, is... What was that debate they were having on Twitter a couple months ago? 94 is the best year for movies ever.
Forrest Gump,
Shawshank,
right?
Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump.
Damn.
Couple other ones. 99, they say, is a good year. So the 90s are... I think you're sleeping on the 90s.
I'm not sleeping. I'm just saying everyone thinks like their generation's the best.
That's true, but the 90s...
But 90s is the best, though.
And I'm not... I don't love
Oh,
the
90s was the best. You know how many fucking times I got woken up by that damn Fergie? Furby?
Furby.
Not
Yeah,
Fergie.
I used to love
Oh,
Furbies,
wow.
man.
I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, what song is she bumping?
Yeah.
That you're waking up to?
It's like, damn, what are you
The
doing? here, Fergie?
Tamagotchis? You know,
Those things are fucking annoying as shit. It
What
died?
do you mean?
Who gets a toy and it fucking
told you how to be a grown-up, man.
dies? It's like, oh, that's stupid.
Grow up fast, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Cold world.
Yeah, so the Charlie's Angels trailer, it's a movie that... It's a hard sell for me because that's something that I did not grow up with. I don't think I've seen 1 second of a Charlie's. You were just telling me the originals.
I wasn't.
Oh, who were they? You said it was Marilyn Monroe,
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz, Drew
Lucy-
Barrymore,
Lucy Liu.
and Lucy Liu. That's a big three.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know two of these. I knew their names, but when I see them, I don't really recognize them. And Kristen Stewart as the lead. It's kind of a weird casting choice for me.
I think she looks good.
I don't
She
hate
looks
it.
good, yeah.
I don't hate it. I think it's always nice to get like just rising actors into these kind of big franchises. Well, medium franchise. Oh, yeah, Charlie's Angels. It's a
Well,
recognizable
Well,
name.
if you think about it, Charlie's Angels was probably pretty big in Kristen Stewart's life. Maybe that's why she took the role. I guess I don't know.
What?
It has to be.
She
She
grew up
probably grew up
idolizing
with
the
Charlie's
Charlie's
Angels.
Yeah, probably. She grew up with a couple posters.
I don't know where you get that from. That Kristen
thinking.
Stewart was
It's a
some
very
fucking
sentimental-
Charlie's
Well,
Angels
why else would
stan.
Kristen Stewart be in Charlie's Angels?
Why is any actor in any movie ever? They give them fucking money and they're like, oh yeah, I'll do this movie.
You have to want to be a Charlie's Angel to be in Charlie's Angels.
What are these standards
That-
you're having?
You know what? I
These
kind of
movies?
understand,
understand
what
what I'm
he's...
trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah. It's not as simple as here's a movie,
Like here's Batman.
here's a role. Right. You have to if you have to commit to being. Although I don't think that fits for Charlie's Angels. I think that's more of just taking a paycheck. I think you're overrating how hard it is to be a Charlie's Angel. You're talking like it's being like you're being knighted.
Like, why did Jake Gyllenhaal do Prince of Persia? Well, they gave him some money, and he's like, "I'll be in
probably-
this
Well, you would have to
awful
think-
He
fucking
probably
movie."
played the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to think Prince of Persia was probably a big impact on his life.
yeah. He
When
grew
was
up
growing
being a big
yeah, he
Prince
was a
of
big
Persia.
Prince
If you want
of
to take
Persia.
that Prince of Persia role, you gotta be.
So if I could ever run through the
Yeah.
rooftops of the Middle East,
I heard Robert Downey Jr. huge Iron Man fan when he growing up.
that's actually
Not
a
true.
funny story. Is he bullied somebody who was reading an Iron Man comic once?
Yeah,
No.
That's
really?
one of the stories of him in like middle school or high school.
So that's
He was a
it.
bully. What a dick.
See, that's what I said. The world, we need bullies. Sometimes bullies evolve into drug addicts who eventually, then they redeem themselves
Yes.
after that.
It's all about the journey.
It is funny how that character, that's always fascinating. Just give me the thumbtack. Give me the thumbtack.
Do I
Out of
mind too?
control. No, because
Why do you
he's
have one?
Because this is actually keeping.
That's what
some-
I'm trying to do. I'm
But
trying to put mine in.
he'll do something with it 3 or 4 times a podcast. You've just been playing with it since we started.
Yeah,
Like, you're out of control.
Keeps me occupied.
Charlie's. so Charlie's Angels. This trailer looked like. Speaking of '90s, it looks like it would be made like 1999. Like
And
that's-
Elizabeth Banks is directing it, right?
Yeah.
I like Elizabeth Banks
Yes,
as a person,
really good.
but she directed Pitch Perfect too. Not as good as the first one.
It was
Are you Pitch Perfect fan?
Pitch Perfect
I
too.
like Pitch Perfect, yeah.
It held its own. 3. That's where we're.
I didn't see 3. That's where I checked out.
Yeah.
Three's like in your face.
One's
You know what I mean?
a classic. But this trailer looks like it's gonna be. The movie's just gonna be like a bunch of one-liners, and kind of cheesy, which it could. That doesn't necessarily mean it could be bad. It's just a trailer, but
Are you
I
gonna
don't
see it?
wasn't a fan.
Just say it.
What's the Rotten Tomato score?
Just say no.
For what?
If it's like an 80, I'll go see it. But if it's like a 50, I'll be like,
You can wait on that.
yeah.
If
I'm
this
probably
comes
waiting on
out, I'll go see it if it has over an 87.
Oh.
that. If it gets over 100, I'll see it.
I said the same thing about Toys. If it gets over 100,
Yeah.
if it's sitting on like 101.
Is it that dead this week?
It is dead. Just news-wise. Because I haven't seen a lot of movies anyway. Like, I wanted to see Men in Black when I saw the Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, no. I'm not going to waste my time with that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Hellboy. I fucked up bad. Because Hellboy and Men in Black trailers came out, and I'm like, I like the vibe of these two, you know? Action-packed, we're having some fun here.
I heard such bad things about Hellboy.
Yeah, I didn't go see that either. But that's like, maybe
Rotten Tomatoes is ruining me going to see movies.
in like
I'll
2
tell you that.
years. In 2 years, when I turn on FX and that's on, maybe I'll watch it for a little bit.
Netflix. Oh, wait, we can talk about Netflix. Not Netflix. NBC pulling The Office.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I was talking about that with my sister earlier. And it's funny, man. All these networks think that they're going to make these streaming services and people are actually going to watch them.
No.
I think they need to realize that everybody's already watched The Office, so that's not going to be a
for
big
real.
draw.
So why would I
maybe
get
if
it?
it just came off of being run and
Yeah.
it was on Netflix for like a year and then you yank it, then yeah, I can see that.
But what are you signing up for NBC streaming
I
service
have
for?
no
real.
idea. Like CBS All Access? No, get out of here. When they have the Star Trek and the what is it? The X-Files, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, the
not
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone, whatever. And those are good selling points. Why don't you put that on your main network? Because there's nothing on CBS I want to watch now, but just on principle alone, like, it's CBS All Access. Get out of here with that.
So doesn't NBC make money off of The Office and being on Netflix?
Yeah, they
Like-
do because
like
Netflix has to play. They have to pay for the streaming rights.
So wouldn't you want your show on Netflix that everyone watches? Like, why would you yank that? That's like Nickelodeon yanking SpongeBob. Whoever yanked SpongeBob.
Well,
Off of
if they
Netflix.
were taking it away for a bidding war, that would almost make more sense. If they were saying we're going to pull this
Right.
back, we're going to see what Hulu offers, what Amazon offers, maybe we can give it to another service. They're thinking they're going to make the next Netflix, and they're not.
No.
I'll survive without The Office. I think Netflix is good enough. Parks and Rec, though, that kind of sucks.
Well, people were tweeting online. Parks and Rec is leaving too.
I think so.
It's January 2021, right?
Yeah.
We have like 2 years.
So people were tweeting online. They were like, "Rest in peace, Netflix. This is going to be the end of Netflix."
No, it's just going to piss people off, which you're seeing it right now. But once they yank it, it's...
That's what she said. That's Office.
Once they yank it,
See, you don't even need The Office. That's pretty much it.
Office is right here.
Yeah.
the streaming wars are interesting to see which ones will survive. It looks like the three mainstays will always be Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon.
Then we'll get a movie in like 100 years, like the current wars.
Yeah.
But it's just the streaming wars.
And Jeff Bezos will be played by Finn Wolfhard.
100. Wow, Finn making it to 120. Good for you, bud.
Well, by that time, I mean technology.
Yeah.
Just
sure.
keeping us alive. Played by a young hologram of Finn Wolfhard. The streaming wars are going to be interesting. I know you're a big cable guy. Fucking antiquated.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you said that.
Big
You love
cable. Cable's the best. No delays. You have live sports, local sports. Because now everyone gets suckered in. Oh, I'm going to cut the cord and save all this money. I'm going to have Netflix.
Well, no, you still pay out the ass for those
Yeah,
stuff.
so I'm going to get Netflix. I'm going to get Hulu, HBO. Oh, now I need HBO to watch Game of Thrones. Wait, now I need Sling so I can watch my local sports. Wait, now I need this, so I need this streaming service. You're paying more than me.
It
I'm
just
gonna
happened-
sit back with my remote and just flip through channels and do me.
It just happened to my friend at work.
Yeah.
He cut cable, and then he ended up getting like 4 or 5 streaming services, and I was paying close or just under what he was paying for cable.
And you get a delay, and it sometimes doesn't always stream well.
Yeah.
Cable, no worries. Just flip it on.
Well, John Campea makes a point about actors in movies, that actors are being overpaid. So that's how you can almost lower the prices of tickets if you stop paying actors so much money. Does Will Smith really deserve $20 million to be in Aladdin?
Yes.
Did Aladdin
He
need...
worked hard for that money. Get your bag.
But did Aladdin need Will Smith to make the money that it's making? That's the point.
That makes sense. He didn't. Well, Aladdin didn't know.
Yeah.
Right, you can cut your budget instead of having this A-list talent. And
I think
sometimes
so.
It should be a privilege to play Aladdin.
Because...
But did Beauty and the Beast, who's more famous, Beauty and the Beast or Emma Watson?
That's tough.
No,
Are you saying Emma Watson's more famous than a Disney princess? I feel that sells itself. Specifically Disney. But the overall point is that eventually streaming services are going to have to, some of them are going to die off, or they're going to have to lower their prices, because the whole point of cutting cable was so that you can save money. I think for people who don't watch sports, they are saving money. So you don't have to put in that extra effort if you're not a fan of sports.
The sports is definitely what gets you.
But also, I feel like a lot of people are signing up for these services and they're just kind of letting them sit. And it's I'll watch them when I watch them. Do you need Netflix and Hulu and Amazon? Do you need all three?
I have all three.
No, well, let's say you just get Netflix, right? What is that? $15 a month?
I got Hulu strictly for Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's a good buy.
It is a good buy.
Just buy cable. You know what's on every minute of every day on cable?
No.
Seinfeld.
Okay, well, with commercials.
Commercials is huge.
I like a
I
good
hate
commercial.
commercials.
You like a good commercial?
Good commercial.
No, you
Shut
don't.
up.
Now you're just fucking...
Yeah, now you're being...
Who's
you're being a
paying
dick
you?
Now.
James Dolan?
No, I mean, you go to the bathroom, maybe get a snack, you get back, you get the commercial
Hit
going.
pause.
What are you, peeing every 10 minutes?
How are you going to know about what's
You
going
can't
on?
last 20 minutes?
What's going on in the world? Like, what's on sale now? What offers? What's the
what medicine is killing your grandma?
Yeah,
So you can call her up.
mesothelioma.
Yeah, mesothelioma.
I need to know this stuff.
AFib.
Chevy's Red Tag event. I need to know. President's Day, they have sales. I might want to lease a car.
You know what I am thinking about, though, is cutting down my Hulu price. I mean, I think I can live with, 2 commercials. I pay, extra $10 for no commercials.
No, when you pay for Hulu, when you don't want to pay the extra without commercials, I judge you. I'm disgusted by people who have Hulu with commercials.
Oh, okay.
I can't commit. Cable or Hulu? Come on, don't.
I guess, yeah.
And I'm more disappointed in Hulu for airing commercials.
You know what's getting annoying now? I hate to say it, but YouTube.
Yeah, well, YouTube is kind of...
They're putting out long ads.
Shh.
What
Fuck's wrong with you, Ted?
For videos that I don't watch, not on.
I
ads.
actually just signed up for YouTube Red.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
I keep getting the fucking thing.
I'll tell you what, man.
Skip trial. every
Locking your phone when you're playing music.
Yeah.
It's...
It hits me. That comes up after, and it's like, maybe.
yeah.
Maybe.
time.
That feeling these last couple of days, man, I feel like I'm on top of the world.
So with YouTube Red, you can lock your phone.
You can lock your phone while you're playing a song.
It's
It's just so liberating.
Yeah.
It's just there.
a good
It's just
talking
there.
point. That's a good
That
start.
gets you in the door.
Yeah, you're knocking right now.
And I think I'm going to watch Cobra Kai. Yeah. Those are the two things: Cobra Kai and locking your phone while you're playing music.
But the locking
Might
your
do
phone is like the Seinfeld for Hulu.
Yeah,
Like you
Yeah.
do YouTube Red so you can lock your phone.
that's the thing too. They made so much money from selling Seinfeld, the rights for Seinfeld, giving them to Hulu.
I just looked up his price. I think he makes close to $1 billion a year just from
Jerry?
yeah.
I think it might be $1 billion overall what he's made.
Oh, okay.
But yearly, they're
just
still
looked it
making.
up.
They're making, both of them are in the hundreds of millions yearly,
Yeah.
just from reruns.
Seinfeld got offered. It was $100 million for season 10,
Yes.
and he said no.
Yeah, he said no.
Imagine having that money.
Yeah.
Well, looking back, he didn't need it. He ended up making that money anyway.
That sucks.
It does suck. All right, so you guys want to move on to fan
400
questions here?
million per year on reruns.
Sheesh.
That's what he makes?
Yeah.
No, that can't be right.
Oh,
see
did
that.
you guys see that Jake Gyllenhaal thing?
Oh, with Sean Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How awesome is that?
that was so funny. Did you see that, Ted?
What?
Jake Gyllenhaal is like a really big Sean Paul fan.
Really?
He was being interviewed in London, one of the London radio stations, with Tom Holland, and he brought up a point that every time Sean Paul hops on a song, he just makes it better. And
What?
he was adamantly defending Sean Paul, and he was serious. He knew some Sean Paul deep cuts.
Yeah.
They were like, "You want to listen to some Sean Paul?" And he said, "Yeah, throw on." And then he named a song, and they threw it on, and he was singing along to it. He knew the words.
Kind of annoys me.
Sean Paul?
Sean Paul.
No, that Jake Gyllenhaal is that
Big
big
of
of
a
a fan of Sean Paul.
He was convincing me, because every time they
No,
played
he made great points.
every time they played a Sean Paul drop, I'm like, he's making this better.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he's just the excitement, the energy that he brings. Da-da-da, the da-da-da, all the noises and stuff.
It's wild. I
So
like
Sean
it.
Paul's an A-list rapper right now.
Is he a rapper?
Pop star?
Yeah, he's kind of.
Musician.
What was his-
Genius. That's what he called him, a genius. He called Sean Paul a genius. And
What's like? I can only name like 4 or 5 songs.
Well,
Cheap
the
Thrills?
main song is "Cheap Thrills," but the main song from when we were kids was
It's like
the
a hot song.
the
wasn't it?
temperature
Yeah,
song.
Yeah.
Got the right temperature.
Yeah.
that shit gets. You put that on
That does bump.
anywhere you are, any bar, any club.
Oh, one of the points he said is that when you're in traffic and you put on Sean Paul, it just makes it better. He says he's made driving less boring. That was one of his biggest points.
Jake Gyllenhaal, man, he's like. I feel bad for Keanu Reeves. He had his like month or two, but now that people remember like, oh yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal back with the Spider-Man promotion. There's that gif of him walking out of the room and he's kissing away.
Yeah.
He's taking over. That's a battle right there. Keanu versus Jake for Internet's daddy. And
Jake
I'm
Gyllenhaal
ready
is
for
an
it.
enigma.
The
I
Daddy
forgot- I
Wars?
never know how
Daddy
he
Wars.
feels. Like,
Jake
just, like,
Gyllenhaal, yeah.
the way he looks, I never know how he's feeling ever.
I feel like Jake
He's happy?
Gyllenhaal is one of those guys, and I'm not saying he's done anything.
You know he dated Taylor Swift?
Yeah, well, no, I didn't.
Me
I
neither.
know
I
either.
found that out like a month ago and I was like, when did this happen? I feel like I should know this.
Getting a lot of facts about Jake Gyllenhaal right now. That's making me like him and not like him.
The thing, I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal might have a dark side. Doesn't he come off as one of those guys?
Yeah, Nightcrawler, he was a fucking freak.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like I can see him living that lifestyle.
But no, I'm telling you right now, the next month or two is just gonna be straight Jake Gyllenhaal. Then who's next? I don't know. It's gonna be an endless cycle. Why is there a hole right under your armpit?
And on this side too.
Are you kidding me?
There's 2 holes. Yeah. You didn't know
Yeah,
that?
you may know.
He's got a shirt on with 2 holes where the armpit is.
Where have you been
I had
all
no
day?
idea.
Have you worn anywhere with that shirt on?
No, I just got out of the shower and put this one on. Wow, I
You're
don't wanna throw the
retracing
shirt
every
on.
step that you've made today wearing that shirt.
Well, like the past month.
I've worn this shirt a bunch actually.
Yeah. How long? You haven't noticed
I went
it?
to the
so-
gym in this shirt.
Well, I guess that's an area you wouldn't notice, right? You don't
I
know.
wouldn't notice
Yes.
that.
Do you look in the mirror?
No. I'd live in the mirror.
I live in the mirror.
Yo, it was so funny. I get home from the gym and
Wild look, man.
what? I get home from the gym and I'm talking to Elena in the bedroom, and then we have like a dresser and there's a big mirror on it, and she walks out. And, I start flexing in the mirror, and I I see her peeking back in. It was just so awkward. Like she caught me like flexing in the mirror. She's like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Dude.
you walked out. Why are you walking back in so quick?
We have a fan question later that
You yell at her for a year.
we have a fan question that's just perfect for what I caught you doing on Instagram.
What do you do?
So
What do I do on
funny.
Instagram?
No, did you see Elena's Instagram story the other night?
Oh, yeah.
With Teddy. Don't save it for the fan question.
All right.
'cause
No, I didn't see it.
it made me laugh because
That convo we had?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
All right, let's go to fan questions here. Actually,
Mhm.
little light on stories. So we have our first question here from Codiolo at Codiolo. Which one of you would last longest on Willy Wonka's tour?
I'm out first.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hopping in that shit.
In the Chocolate River.
Yeah.
Is that what went first? It was a chocolate. It was
Yeah,
the
Augustus
big
Gloop.
kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, it's sucked in. I think I would last longest because when I'm in social situations, I follow the rules. I never overstep.
Yeah.
You yell at me for slowing down at yellow lights.
I would get distracted easily. I'm like, oh, what's over here? Like, Ted, check this out. Unless you see of us.
Yeah, then you lure me into it,
turn
and I'm
into a
out.
pack
Yeah.
of gum. Right. Well, Ted would be out quick. Yeah. No, I think I would last long. 'Cause I'm just a rule follower. That would be a trip, man. Imagine that. It's like an acid trip. This question here from Adelaide at Probs Adelaide. What would be the guidelines you give to people when they remake classic international films?
International.
I would say don't.
Don't.
Rules to follow. Stop what you're doing. Do something else.
Yeah.
But if it had to be done,
That's gonna
Make
like,
it so close to that movie.
well, that's the thing.
Don't
That's
try
when,
and adapt it as your own thing.
is it Gus Van Sant
Then why
remade
do it?
Psycho? Right. when Gus Van Sant remade Psycho and he just did it shot for shot
Yeah.
in the modern day, and it was everybody panned it because they were like, "This is ridiculous. This is we've already seen this movie."
I'd rather do that than do my own adaptation and then get shit on for my own
Make it
adaptation.
different. I
of
mean,
it.
like we were talking, like Lion King, Charlie's Angels, Ghostbusters. I don't think these are. That's kind of like the same principle. It's kind of do something to make it your own, but even if you don't like it, you can still have the original, so it's nothing to get like too worked up about. Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I can't believe they're remaking this. They're gonna remake shit until we
Yeah.
die. So it's kind of just like, remake it, and if it's good, then great. If it's new, that's fine. If it looks good, great. But if it's not, just be like, oh, well, that sucked.
Yo, if you think about it, I would never want to be a director because you're putting out a movie like that you're thinking of. This is your work, and if you put something bad out and people are shitting on it, that's gotta feel so demoralizing. Like you worked so hard, like this is what you envisioned.
Yeah, it's
And it
tough to
does
put
suck.
yourself out there. Yeah,
Yeah, read
That's-
the Game of Thrones comments. Shit will kill you.
that's
For
why
real.
I'm sympathetic towards directors who kind of lash out at critics, even though critics are doing their jobs. It's their jobs. It's their job to review a movie.
Well, yeah, you're also like you said, you're putting yourself out there. You know what you're getting into when you're doing it, but
But
I
it's
still
also
feel bad.
when you do months of work, years really. When you're working on a film, it's nightless. It's sleepless nights, and then it comes out and people say this was lazy or this sucked or this was terrible.
Well, I think people forget
it
how
could be-
hard it is to make a movie.
Yeah,
And it's fair to say this sucked because A, B, C, and D.
yeah.
But it's still like, yeah, you made a movie. That's kind of cool. How many people can say that? Not us.
This question here from Tristan Steffe at Steffe Tristan. Will you review the Witcher series when it comes out this fall? Probably not.
Maybe. If I like it.
I'm looking
If it's
forward
really
to it.
good, yeah, right.
Yeah, if it's great, then I guess, yeah, we'll take a stab at it. I think you guys should play at least The Witcher 3 because it's a great game.
It's on PlayStation.
It's on PlayStation 4, and it looks fantastic.
Am I able to get it on the PlayStation now?
I think so. Yeah, I think it might be there.
I'll take a jab at that.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's got to be cheap now too. I can't imagine that it's still $60, but
It probably is at GameStop.
Is it the last one ever made?
that's the most recent.
Okay.
And I think there's 3
The
altogether.
last one ever made.
It's the last Witcher ever. But there are also books. That's what impressed me so much about Henry Cavill in that interview when he brought up the books. And he asked the interviewer, he's like, "You read the books?" It's like, they're really good.
Doesn't that hit different?
It does.
Like-
Yeah. It makes me like you more. It really does. Because he seems like a true nerd. And he also...
Well, yeah,
like-
that kind of makes me mad, though.
Yeah, because he's like 6'4",
Yeah.
he's
And you-
chiseled.
And you
Yeah.
read?
Yeah.
Anything else? It's like Bradley Cooper.
You can't be that good looking and read books. Sorry.
Let me
Those are
find
the
out he
rules.
sings.
Yeah.
It's a fucking rap.
It's like when Bradley Cooper, we found out he can sing. It's like, imagine if
Anything
Bradley...
else?
If he reads, then it's over.
Anything else you got, Brad?
Yeah.
This question here from Anonymous Scout at Anonymous Scout 4. Best Pokemon game? I would almost turn to you because I don't remember the Game Boy ones
Well,
very
red and
well.
blue were the basic.
Red and
the
blue
same.
was one.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
yeah.
kind of
Yellow, you got a
Pokemon
little
Stadium.
Pikachu.
Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium.
Wait, in Pokemon Yellow, you could start with Pikachu as your starter?
Well, he would like follow you
No, but you can
around.
have him as when you catch him, he can follow you around.
Oh, man.
It's a little cute little Pikachu.
That's why I want to get Let's Go Pikachu. Have him sit on my head.
Whoa.
Hey, he sits on the top of your
Whatever
head.
you do in your own bedroom, just leave it out of here.
Pokemon Red.
Where Pikachu is at.
I never liked I obviously liked the Ruby ones and like the newer ones.
Oh, yeah,
But
I
you always go
remember
back
Ruby.
to you always go back to the classics.
I'd like to do that, get a classic Game Boy. Actually, no, I wouldn't. The new ones look good, though. Shield and Sword. That's coming out for the Switch.
I was over by my cousins.
I
and
love
he's-
having the Switch right now.
My cousins.
Do you
he's-
play it a lot?
Yeah, but I've been playing Smash a lot. Banjo Kazooie coming out.
He's like a sophomore in college, and he
yeah,
still has
that was
Pokemon Go. I'm like, people still play that? And
Do
apparently
you remember
people
that
do.
shit? That shit was like a
Son.
fucking phenomenon.
Yo, me and Nash used to drive around for fucking hours.
That was the
going
closest
around.
we came to like world peace. Was Pokemon Go.
It really was, man. I remember I drove out to Port Jefferson because
What?
I had heard Port Jefferson had the best Pokemon. And I would pick up Marissa on the way, Marissa and Manny, because they were on the way.
Yeah.
And we would just walk around for hours.
Argyle. There was like, I mean, I wouldn't say peace either because there was a lot of fights and like theft over this.
And people dying, being ran over.
Remember Pokemon Go to the polls?
This question
Yeah.
here from Wild Thing at AT Wilder 15. Everybody's talking about Pokemon Go. Top 3 Christopher Nolan movies.
Ooh, Nolan. There's The Dark Knight.
I thought you were about to do like a kid song.
And there we go.
And Inception. Christopher Nolan's direction.
Memento, Interstellar.
Both of those are stellar. I just rhymed stellar. My top 3. He's got Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar.
Yeah.
That would be mine.
I would say Dark Knight, Dunkirk, Memento.
Ooh. Memento is one of my favorites. Dark Knight and Inception.
Ted?
Can't go wrong, though,
I
can
agree
you?
with his. Interstellar, Dark Knight.
Yeah, what's his worst movie? It
Inception.
might be Interstellar, honestly.
Well, Interstellar is either a
loved
masterpiece
Interstellar.
or overrated, depending
Yeah.
on who you talk to. And it's weird. I kind of get both sides of that because visually and it's magnificent, but I can see why some people might be turned off by the whole plot twist at the end. And
He's got a stacked filmography, man.
Mhm.
If Interstellar is your worst movie, imagine that.
That's ridiculous.
What's his best movie? Dark Knight?
Between The Dark Knight and Dunkirk, for me.
Inception. I don't
I think
know.
it's between Inception and Dark Knight.
That movie, I need to watch that again. That's one where,
Inception?
yeah.
Well, I remember when you
Yeah.
made me appreciate Inception so much more. I'll never get over that. Thank you.
That's a movie where you watch it and you think you know it, like,
That was a great feeling.
what happened. Then you go online and you, like, read stuff. It's like, oh,
Oh, that happened too?
now I get it. I had no idea what I was watching.
I'd like to see a sequel to Inception.
I kind of like when the internet...
Deception?
That's a totally different thing.
Your
Wait,
brain
I'm
just looked like it was
You
melting.
think we're going to elaborate on that?
Well, deception is when you're trying to mislead somebody. Inception is when you're trying to manipulate somebody into doing something.
It's related.
Yeah, that's the second one.
It's like a cousin.
Yeah, but so deception is them going into, well, I guess they're,
You're incepting them to mislead them. I got you, Ted.
This question here from Austin.
My pinky. Cracked
He
it.
fucking broke his finger. Got you, Ted. This question here from
Where this
Austin Horst at Austin.
I was gonna say, we
_
had a kid in high school who used to, when you go to fist bump, he would straight up punch your fucking fist as hard as he could.
Zach-
low-key turned into that, though.
Have you guys watched Altered Carbon on Netflix? If so, what are your thoughts? You have, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you watched Altered Carbon.
Well, no, because we were supposed to review it, and I watched like 3 episodes.
Ah,
and
that old thing.
I realized we were never going to review it, so I'm like, yeah.
I've heard mixed things.
Never heard of it.
This question here from Anna at Sugar Plum Bell. Do you think D&D favored some characters over others in Game of Thrones?
You have to, right?
I don't really see it. I think there are decisions they made to kind of protect the image of certain characters, but overall favoritism towards a character? Maybe Jon. They kind of, for a long time, they made Jon Snow the most awesome person ever
Yeah.
in Westeros.
Well, you could tell maybe
That's kind of what they did with Danny, though. Then they turned it into like the biggest villain of all time.
they definitely try to protect Tyrion.
They did.
So,
But I don't know if that's favoritism or trying to appeal to your audience.
no, I mean, I'm trying to think. Is there a character that they kind of just... I mean, you could say...
Cersei. They added so much to her.
Yeah.
Made her smarter.
You kind of feel like that they didn't favorite her, though, because in this last season, because of how little she was in it.
Well, I think that's also yeah, right. That's why I think it's tough to say. There's too many characters where I don't think there's time to favorite any particular character. If it would have been more noticeable, the fact that we're kind of debating about it here.
Even Rob, but that's just like natural to do. Like give Rob a bigger role, or just have him, because you got to think once Ned dies, you need someone to kind of like the audience to root for. Like, oh, he could be king, he could take him out. So you kind of gotta
They had a few of them, though.
beef him up a little.
This question here from Aaron at Aaron_Dell24. Not really a question, just a statement. Toy Story 4 was better than 3. I don't care.
That's not true.
It's close. I think it's closer than when I reviewed it, because I already recorded my review that I did with Marissa, but I think it's actually closer.
I think it's
The
the
more I
fourth,
talked about
I
Toy
gotta
Story
see it.
4, the more I liked it.
I think it's the 4th best, but that's not to say that it's bad. That's like a testament
good
to the
1,
other
2, and
3.
3
Yeah.
are.
So I think it's a shade down, a little bit lower, a little derivative in some aspects, and I wish they would have done more with certain characters, but still very enjoyable. And I had a great time watching it.
3 has become underrated. Now with 4 out, everybody's talking about how 3 wasn't a good enough ending. I love 3.
I loved Potato Head in 3 was the man.
Potato Head was lights out. 3.
That was my biggest
That was
reservation.
Potato Head movie.
Reservation about 4 is how much I like the third ending,
Yeah.
the 3 ending. Yeah.
People have made the case that 4 is more of a Woody movie without spoiling any of the plot, but it definitely focuses mostly on Woody. And all of them kind of do. He is the main character.
I was going to say that 1 was a Woody movie, and so 2 was a Woody movie.
3 was the most where it was the group.
Yeah.
It was all of them working together.
Well, I always thought, like, when I think Toy Story, it's Buzz and Woody.
Right. This question here from Guillotine, the space giant, at Sound of Giants. What are your thoughts on subverting expectations narratives used in films? I understand it in films like The Sixth Sense. However, I would like your take on its place in film.
I feel like that's a word that gets overused and applied to things that are not applicable to that phrase.
Is that a dig at me?
You did do that once, but I'm just saying in general, it's like, it's just every movie that kind of doesn't go, like, even Game of Thrones, everyone's like, oh, it's subverting your expectations. No, it just didn't land the way you thought it would be. And obviously the ending's from George, so it just gets thrown around a lot. And I guess that stemmed from The Last Jedi, because that was like the big one where that was out there. Like, that's what Rian Johnson was actually trying to do. It's something where if you do it, it's got to be clean.
It's got to be the reason the movie hits.
It's got to make sense. It's got to be clean, and it's got to add something to it.
Yeah.
If it's going to split people, then you're going to have situations like The Last Jedi where people hate it and people love it, and no one's ever going to convince anyone else that they're right and they're wrong.
I just hate when movies do it just to have that twist at the end to try and make that like a talking point for the movie.
Well, subversions and twists, I don't think they're the same thing.
Like in Sixth Sense, if there's no subverting, you don't get the movie.
No, exactly. Sixth Sense is a twist. You're not expecting Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
You don't expect anything.
Yeah.
The subversion of expectation is
It's more
Ned Stark
remakes.
is the main character in Game of Thrones. Then he dies. You're expecting this character to be followed throughout the seasons, for him to grow, to develop, but they take that away. It's stupid when it's not set up, because Ned Stark dying is set up throughout the season. We see the steps that lead to his inevitable death. The problem with The Last Jedi is things were just happening out of nowhere.
Danny turning Mad Queen, is that subverting?
In the sense of...
Because Thrones didn't, because Thrones subverted its whole series.
No, the 3 major subversions, because Danny turning going crazy has been hinted at for years, but it wasn't hinted at that Robb Stark would die. You can foreshadow his death in the sense of the narrative, and then kind of in hindsight you see the steps that led to his death. But those are the 3 major subversions in Game of Thrones. It's Ned dying, his son is going to avenge him, nope, and then Jon Snow dying, and obviously he's going to come back in the books. But Danny, character turns, those aren't subversions of expectations.
That's just the way they wrote the character.
And people have different expectations.
Right, that's the thing. It's hard to define. It's being brought up now because people use it to defend something that is polarizing, where they point to people and say, just because your fan theory didn't come true, you're angry.
Mm-hmm.
They subverted your expectations for the ending that you already created in your own head. So people are using it as a defense, and
I think both sides kind of on a kind of...
If you believe your own theory, that's just pretentious.
No. I think there are people out there that...
Well, a lot of theories are well crafted. So it's kind of like...
Yeah, but if you genuinely believe that it's going to happen, you have to think that it's not going to happen because you don't know what's going to happen.
But there are theories out there that have been around for decades that came true in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I think it is also cheap to say that fans are getting angry that their theories didn't come true. People said that so many times to The Last Jedi. That wasn't the problem. It's fun to speculate on whose Rey's parents were, but their answer was a non-answer in a way.
Yeah.
They didn't even give us anything. So it's fun to speculate. It's I was wrong, but that's cool too. It was there is no answer. So you were trying to solve a question that wasn't there.
Well, both.
And the same thing with Snoke. Who's Snoke? What is he going to do? He's going to do nothing.
I didn't mind it. I didn't let that aspect ruin the movie completely for me, even though I wish it was a little bit better. But I think both sides of that argument kind of throw it out. And like you said, your theory didn't come true. It just subverted your expectations. That's why you don't like it. Which is very service level, and then the other side saying, oh, just because it subverted your expectations doesn't mean it's good or it's deserved or things like that. And there's
it's
some
good storytelling.
There's some middle ground. There's some conversation to be had about it, and I think it makes with a one-off or something that like, oh, I'm just gonna go see this movie. I hear it's got good reviews, and then it happens in that, and you're like, whoa, I was not fucking expecting that. I haven't seen something like that. I didn't think that was gonna happen. And I think it's more favorable rather than something you've been theorizing and thinking about and trying to play it out in your head for all these years.
2 questions. Watching Game of Thrones first season before Ned dies. First question is, did you see that coming?
No.
Genuinely?
No.
And 2, how was it reacted to by the public? Like, did people hate it?
No, it was considered brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a stunning revelation, and it kind of set the table for what this show was going to be. But that's the thing. Game of Thrones is very much, you always need these in a genre.
Like a twist would have been if Ned's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, oh wow, Ned was working with Littlefinger this whole time to usurp Joffrey.
Okay, then yeah, that would suck.
But you get into Game of Thrones, and you don't realize that you're settling into a deconstruction of the genre that it's taking place in. So Ned dying is your first introduction to what this show is actually going to be. So that is truly the essence of a subversion of expectations. But every movie is subverting your expectation because you don't know how a movie is going to end. And if a movie is very predictable, then it usually sucks. But it's very specific where people are just throwing this around for everything. They're using it as a defense or a criticism, and it's kind of gotten out of hand.
Well, I was having a conversation, and it was something like, what would you want to, like all right, a director going into like a big franchise, like let's say a Star Wars, or they're remaking something, an already established property.
Kind of like what Tarantino's doing with Star Trek.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, true. But it's like, it's a debate. Like, would you rather them give you everything that you want as a fan? Or would you want them to put their own spin and kind of...
Depends who the director is. If it's Tarantino, then I'd trust him.
So it's a fine line. And I think I want to go in not knowing most of the time and just kind of see, like, all right, where does this take me? What is this guy going to do to kind of expand on what I already know? And kind of, I want some new things thrown in there. Keep me on my toes.
Mm-hmm.
But... sometimes people perceive that as going too far or straying too far away from what is already established and what they wanted to see, and it doesn't work out all the time.
All right, this question here from Kyrian Nolan Jones at Kyrian Nolan J. Scariest horror film you've ever seen and why? I would say
Conjuring,
it would be
probably.
Yeah,
because I believe in that stuff.
The Conjuring is very scary. The Conjuring 1 and 2 are both scary.
That whole universe is scary.
Annabelle's getting good reviews. I'd like to see it. Exorcist is up there. I think the scariest movie I've ever seen is a movie that I've been wanting to show you guys for a long time, Possession. And the why, I almost don't even want to say why, because I would like people to go out and experience this movie on their own. I think it's 1981. Sam Neill is in it. It's a terrifying movie. But Hereditary was really scary.
I was just going to say that movie. Hereditary scared me for like a week.
Yeah.
It was fucked up. Hereditary, man.
And his new one, Midsommar, looks terrifying.
Yeah. It's getting great reviews.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
I still hold this. The scariest thing I ever watched, like as an adult, was Twin Peaks season 2 finale. Yeah. That shit was fucking freaky, man. That's something where I was physically I was just uncomfortable, and it was in my room too. Like, it's not like I was in a dark theater with like surround sound. Like, it was insane. And I don't know. I don't really get scared in horror movies, but there are movies that like kind of freak me out and like kind of creepy. So.
Well, his films feel like you're trapped in a nightmare, and that's the scariest thing a film could be for me is unsettling. When you think that this could happen to you, even though they are so ridiculous. But there's just an element of realism to those movies.
The exorcism movies always freak me out because it's like there's so many accounts of exorcisms.
Well, you believe in that stuff.
I do.
Because you're crazy.
I don't want that to happen to me.
Listen.
If it happens to the guys I don't believe.
You don't think you could defeat a demon?
No. I'll sucker into that so bad.
I'd be one with the demon. Like, hey, what's up, man? Paying rent?
Well, that's how you got to defend them, though. You can't act scared.
Well, I'll disarm
Just so you know, if your house ever gets haunted,
yeah,
don't act scared.
No, I'll disarm them with my humor. Like, oh, you're gonna pay rent around here? I got a big belly laugh out of that.
Either
Like,
either you pay or you next house guy.
Want a beer? Hey, we're gonna watch the game. Like, oh, what are you watching? Oh, the Jets. Like, oh, I don't like the Jets.
He's a
Better find somewhere else to live then, bud.
he's a New Jersey Devils fan. Don't touch the thermostat, demon.
That's
I
a
can't
movie.
believe you believe in that stuff.
That's a movie right there.
I hope it happens to you though.
I do too. I wish it would happen to me. That'd at least be
Michael
interesting.
Shannon plays the ghost.
Your life-
My life stinks. I'd take a demon haunting. Are you kidding me? I'd like to go out loud. And if he gets me, he gets me. So I'm a demon now. That's pretty funny.
Well,
This question-
not all ghosts are bad too. Like, they kind of got a bad rap. Like Casper, fucking awesome.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, but his 3 brothers were terrorizing. No, uncles, not brothers.
Yeah.
Casper had uncles?
Yeah, 3
What
of
the
them.
hell? This question here from Josh Clark at
Brush up on your
J.A.
fucking
Clark
lore, bro.
21. Which Seinfeld characters would each of you be? I feel like Teddy is pretty much the Kramer of the group.
That's a lie.
Now, this goes back. You didn't see Elena's Instagram story?
No.
I click it, and it's Teddy in a fucking indoor hot tub. And I'm like, of course Teddy's in an indoor hot tub cooling right now. It's got colored jets. It's
It
changing
was
colors
so
and
nice.
shit.
Therapeutic.
And I'm like, this guy's literally becoming Kramer. You know when Kramer gets a hot tub in his room and the heat pump breaks? I was
Teddy
like,
always has like ideas.
I do-si-doed Elena's dad into getting that hot tub. It's so nice.
he gives me the whole breakdown. He's like, Elena's dad comes up to me and says, should I get a hot tub? And I'm like, well, look at it this way. And he broke down like 3 circumstances in which he would use the hot tub.
Yeah, I'm like, think about it. Actually, I want to pull this conversation up.
He's like, it's the middle of winter. It's a long day.
You just got done shoveling.
You just
know,
got done
back hurts.
shoveling. You want to wind down, get all the aches out of your joints.
Just so Teddy can use it.
He incepted and decepted
Yeah, you see?
his fiance's father into
You're
getting
back
a
on
hot
our
tub.
side now.
That was great.
That's awesome.
It's just Elena's story, mood, and it's Teddy in a fucking changing color hot tub. And I feel like Ted's gonna be like, every time we're feeling stressful or we're a bit anxious, he's gonna be like, you need a soak? You need to come through for a soak?
So-
Yeah. That's
So I'm
gonna
like,
be
all
Teddy.
right. So I'm like, all right, think about it. You're coming home from a long day in traffic. And you just want to relax in some hot water. And then he's like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, he's starting to buy it.
And then I'm like, now it's winter. You want to go in a hot
I want
tub?
to close my eyes.
Yeah. All right. So it's winter, snowing out.
It's cold.
8 o'clock in the morning. Snow just finished. 3 feet of snow.
No. I'm never gonna get to work.
You just got done shoveling out your
Oh,
driveway.
Back hurts.
That fits 3 cars.
It's small
You gotta do your
forearms.
sidewalk because you have a sidewalk.
Right.
Do have
Trail
a
for the
sign.
dog.
I need the,
Yeah.
the
You
mailman's
gotta go-
coming.
Yeah.
I need
And
to
you gotta
get
do your walkway.
Packages.
And then you finish and you can barely pick up your, like you can barely stand up straight.
Can't even move right now.
Go right in the backyard, in the Florida room, indoor jacuzzi with jets.
Does it have a little speaker?
There's a speaker next to it.
Kind of got like a little shiver right there.
And he's like, you know what? I'm getting it. And I'm like, all right, smart
I'm
move.
about to fucking buy one now.
That's a good buy.
He asks you to split it. You're like, well, wait a minute. I would like to get a hot tub.
I'm gonna start selling 30-minute massages.
Of course you are.
That thing.
You just start pimping out the hot tub. I would say I'm a Jerry.
Nash, George.
I think I'm more
Nash and
George.
Aaron are both George.
Well, who's Newman? No, Nash
Nash.
is Newman.
I would no. That's
That's
disrespectful.
disrespectful. We'll share
I give him a
George.
What do you
lane
mean?
before I
No,
give him a
Nash
new
loves
one.
Newman. That's his favorite character.
Yeah, because he's funny, but you don't want to be Newman.
Why not? You see his life? Postmaster? He gets girls?
Who else is there?
Yeah, Newman kind of stays outside of all the wackiness of the main
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, but no, he gets in sometimes.
Yeah, no, he gets it, but he's got a good life. Other than that,
Oh, well, Elaine.
yeah, Nash could be Elaine. Very underrated, Elaine.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah, very
She's
funny.
funny. Her kicks. That's a funny episode, you know?
But there's
When
always
George tries to be the bad guy.
Because George will complain about something, and
And
like
Elaine thinks that he was the reason why the party stunk.
yeah.
my favorite when he's watching when he can't get it up with the girl he's with.
What, the condom issue thing? That one?
Well, that's the one when she's eating dinner and the risotto is so good and she makes all the noises and he doesn't
Oh,
hear the
the
noises when they
Is
have
that-
sex.
It's
So
not
it gets
from me or the risotto?
It gets in his head.
Yo.
That's the same episode with the mango, and he's just like, "Give me the mango."
Yeah.
He's like, "I think it moved." He's like, "I'll be right back." And he runs. That's when-
No, the most relatable one was the one when he couldn't keep it up long enough when he was using the condom. He couldn't open up the wrapper.
That's a good one, and shrinkage is good too.
No, but I was gonna say
shrinks!
It shrinks. They don't know that. No, they
Elaine,
know.
do girls know about shrinkage?
Say what? Laundry? I also like the Seinfeld where he's at the movies and he makes somebody sit one seat away from him.
Yeah.
That's me. I do that every time. If it's an empty theater, don't sit right next to me.
I think his voicemail. Like, believe it or not, George isn't at home.
No, you want to know what's you? Seinfeld not giving mouth to mouth.
Yeah, no, that's definitely me.
He could have died. Yeah, that's the chance we're willing to take.
I've had to suspend all my just fear of dying with the new puppy because I am a germaphobe. I'm a hypochondriac, but with the puppy, I just have to suspend all that because she's like the most disgusting little thing. But she's cute, you know.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's just the germs, the shitting on herself.
She's a puppy.
No, that's what
Let
I'm
her
saying.
live.
Oh.
No, I've embraced it. I don't get mad at her, but I'm saying for a human, I could never do that. But for a puppy, I'll do it.
What was the one? Because
What? So are you not having kids?
Never. I wash my hands about 35 times a day,
Wear gloves.
no,
but then I have to wash the gloves. I can't take out books from the library.
I'm trying to think. Because I was saying,
I never knew that. You were
yeah,
this
it was
bad.
No library books. No, I was trying to
Why,
think.
'cause
So
you're
when
reading
we said
library
George, what?
I said, why? Because you're reading library books every week?
No, who goes to a library anymore? It is. A library is dope.
Library. Somebody was telling me the other day. And I was like, yeah, then I thought of all the people taking out those books. Can't do it.
Now that I think about it, nice, like, if I ever get, 2 hours free time, go to the library.
You're not going to the fucking library.
Yeah, maybe I'll take a stroll to the library.
What about when the girl want to come up and have coffee?
Yeah.
George is like, it's too late. I'll be up all night.
That's amazing.
And then he goes to Jerry and tells him the story about it. Oh my god.
It's funny because
That's a
Larry
funny
says the
episode,
same
yo.
thing in Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's not about a girl. It's just about him not drinking coffee late at night. I think it's because Cheryl wants to go out after dinner for dessert. It's like, oh, we'll get
That's a
cake
funny
and
one, yeah.
coffee. He's like, oh, I'm going to be up all night then. Larry David is the best out of all of them, though.
Well,
Larry David and Curb.
Just the way George did that scene, though, because it was so genuine. Like, I can't have coffee.
No, he genuinely thought they were going out for coffee.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't the instigator for sex. That's why he's amazing. That show is pure genius. I've never seen an episode of it that wasn't funny.
Mm-mm.
But as for the Nerd Soup podcast, that's it for today.
Are we
going
funny?
to wrap it. I don't think so. That's up to the listener, right?
I'm going to poll it after this episode comes out.
You haven't had a good poll in a while. You think you're fucking King Twitter over here, huh?
I'm doing pretty good.
He is doing good.
You helped me out in the last one, though.
I did.
Okay. You were ready to fucking say something.
No, I was gonna let you have your moment.
Oh.
The
Can you cut that out then?
the SpongeBob one, that was funny.
That was all you?
I thought that was going to
He
take off
sent me
more.
that because he sent me the first one first. I'm like, I'll workshop it a little bit here. And then he sent me like, what about this? I'm like, that's the one.
I thought that was going to do
You
more.
start with that.
Teddy texts me to get my advice, and I just never answer. I'm sorry.
So you did ignore me.
I text him like, oh, that tweet's doing numbers that you told me about before. It's like, not really. I'll do a lot more. Bo retweeted it.
Yeah, you always ask me to retweet, so I did. You said it would get to the thousands.
It's at like 750 right now.
Okay.
It's so funny. Nash always
Don't
asks.
okay me to shut me up. That was like an okay, like stop talking.
Well, no, I'm trying to wrap up the pod.
So wrap it up.
Nash always asks, he's like, can you retweet this? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like, I have a standard on my retweets. I just love fucking with them.
You hit me with that one time. That upset me.
Well, my whole thing is if I retweet it, I retweet it. No, you didn't ask me to retweet your OJ tweet. No.
Well, I text him like, can we meme OJ yet? Like, has that been established? He's like, yeah, I think so.
You can meme anything.
Okay.
Well, yeah, he's putting it out there.
That's wild.
He's out of his mind, dude.
He is. All right, let's wrap it up.
Go ahead.
Come on the pod?
Come on the pod, OJ?
No.
No. Actually,
no.
no, we'll Skype.
Yeah.
I don't trust that either.
He'll find a way.
Yeah.